Buzzword, Mars. Kevin, people love Mars.
Yes, they do.
And that's why space news generally is going to come back to Mars probably for the next few months.
Yeah, definitely. There's always something happening around there.
Yeah, it's our sister planet or something like that.
For example, the comet that just passed by, Siding Spring. And all the orbiters survived,
Mom, Maven, sorry.
Yeah.
Marvin sounds so much better than Maven. But yes, Maven, Mom, and the other associated orbiters around Mars are all safe.
So they're all fine. And they were able to take pictures of the comet during the limited time where they were starting to go behind the planet and coming just back around. And it showed that the comet, the core of it, was smaller than they had originally thought. So it just has this really large, hazy halo of melting ice and gas.
Huh. Well, that must mean the composition must not be exactly what they thought it was.
Exactly.
See, look, we're learning things. Thank you.
Science.
Thank you, orbiters. Also, I mean, Mars is so popular because people are trying to get there.
Many people.
We're not just trying to send machines over there anymore. We're trying to send human beings, namely women. That came out really. That didn't come out right. Kevin, take it, please.
Some of those preliminary studies for the Martian colonization companies, because there's a bunch of different private companies that are trying to get in on this. Their testing has revealed that women tend to be preferred for this because statistically, on average, they are smaller than the average man, and so eat less, take up less space, need less fuel to be moved from one location to another, which are all important considerations when going to space.
Totally. Now, it's really funny because if you have ancestors later down the road and you're like, the whole women are from Venus, men are from Mars, whatever, it's not going to work anymore because apparently
completely change.
All the women are going to be from Mars in 50 years. It'd be crazy. But speaking of Mars, because that's all we're ever going to do, Space One, Mars One, which is supposed to be the pioneering colonizing mission.
Right.
This is privately funded, right? This is not NASA. This is not a space agency.
Yeah, it's privately funded.
It's privately funded. So they're trying to send a contingent, to start the first colony on Mars. Sounds exciting and absolutely freaking terrifying because you sign up for a one-way trip. You're not coming back.
Yeah, not at all.
But a few MIT students, grad students, recently figured out that you most definitely will not be coming back because you won't survive more than 70 days.
You will die.
You will die.
Very fast.
Within 70 days. Most likely from, I think, oxygen poisoning. Or something like that.
Yeah.
There's too much. The problem is, in order to go to Mars, you have to bring all the materials with you, essentially. They're trying to build a habitat where they can grow plants and things to provide oxygen for them.
Hydroponics, stuff like that.
Right. So the first grain harvest, I guess, or the first time that the grain plants that they'll be bringing will be able to produce enough oxygen for the colonists will be within about, I think it's about 60 days or something like that. So, in that amount of time, they're mainly living off the oxygen that they brought. At that point, the oxygen would switch over and they'd be getting it from the plants. But the problem is, that would be getting too much oxygen.
The plants are too effective.
They're too efficient. And because the way that they have the structure set up is that all of the people will be living in the same area as the plants. So there's nowhere, they're not living anywhere else. So they're really getting over-oxygenated, which is dangerous. And if you want to relieve this, you have to vent it out into the Martian atmosphere. But the problem is regulating that, controlling the right amounts, and that would eventually lead them to die.
Right. Also, the chance of catastrophic failure would be huge.
Will be huge. So these MIT students who wrote a 30-page paper about this suggested, maybe changing the way the colony would be set up so that the people are not in the same place as the plants, which makes sense. But that costs a lot more money because you can't transport you have to transport more materials.
Right, because you need that whole other module.
Right, exactly. So basically, the guy who's in charge of Mars One said, "Don't
worry about it.
Don't worry about it. It'll get solved. Future things. That'll happen.
Science.
That it'll catch up. That sort of thing. So if your name is on the Mars One list, you might want to be a little worried. And make sure you have all your affairs in order before you leave planet Earth. Because 70 days is not a long time.
Not really.
Damn it, I forgot the whistle thing. But anyway, that was perfect timing for us to end this episode about Mars. If you want to watch our older episodes about Mars-related things, those will be down there in the description below. There's also a subscribe button. Kevin, what's next to you?
Lots of old videos.
Yeah.
Somewhere around here.
They are. There should be. If you turn your annotations off, that hurts.
Then I just look silly.
But you can still click the links in the description below because we got you covered. And stick around for more space news next week on... I forget when we do space news. It's on Mondays, Kevin. That's when we do the space
You're going to say
news.
on Out of Space TV.
On Out of Space TV. Every Monday on Out of Space TV, get your space news. And we'll see you out there.
See ya.
Ha!